Buonasera, Bianconeri. Welcome to the All Juve Cast channel. I'm Alberto, and we are going to recap the day's news surrounding Juve, and then we're going to talk about the Champions League draw. We're going to talk about the interview that President Agnelli gave while receiving an award at the Golden Boy Awards for Best President in Europe. But we're going to kick it off before we get to that interview, which has created a bit of a stir, a bit of buzz there. With what he said in regards to Dybala. But first, we're going to talk about somebody, Mattia De Sciglio. So news coming out right now that Juve continues to monitor Aouar from Lyon there. And word on the street is that Lyon has been happy with De Sciglio so far. And Juve is, of course, hoping that Lyon will make that move permanent. And there you go. This would be Mattia De Sciglio's best contribution as a player for Juve. Seriously, without a doubt. But no, that's great. In terms of, Rugani, I saw somebody asking on social media there how Rugani's doing. I think he's barely played. I think he had 17 minutes in one match. I think he might have played one full match, but he's actually injured. So hasn't really been doing anything. But that's it for that. But man, De Sciglio, make that move permanent. Do not screw this up, okay? And then there was the Champions League draw. So Juve pulls Porto. Great draw. Definitely nothing we shouldn't be looking on to the next round. This particular matchup is favorable for us, but it will again be the same matchup it's been for a while now, probably for about 3 seasons, I'd say. It's going to be Juventus against themselves. Which Juventus are we going to see? Which Juventus will show up? That's the question we're all going to wait on. I get razzed a bit sometimes on how much I use the term Jekyll and Hyde, but we have been Jekyll and Hyde for quite some time now. Like I said, a few seasons now, but I'm hoping Pirlo, as he continues to talk about focusing on the mentality and the approach of this club, he can turn that around and get the wheels rolling consistently. So, yeah, the matchups are set. The first leg's going to be away from home for Juve, and it's going to be in February. And we've got enough time to get that consistency in our game. So looking forward to that. Very, very good draw for Juventus. I want to hear from you, Juventini. Do you like this draw? Do you agree with me that it is going to be a battle of Juve against themselves? Hit me up here. Now, of course, the Agnelli interview as he accepted the award at the Golden Boy Awards there for president. Basically, the president, he had one funny thing to say about the draw versus Porto, obviously speaking to Bonucci and saying, we'll have to get Bonucci a stool again, because obviously the last time we had met Porto, the scenes of Bonucci sitting there as a punishment at the time on the stool, of course. So that was kind of funny. And then, of course, seen to Dybala. So after a match against Genoa, I covered it in the latest episode of the podcast, episode 127, with a great guest, Abdul. If you haven't checked it out, check it out, as we spoke a bit about Paulo Dybala's words. Basically, Paulo Dybala spoke about the untruth, okay? So basically what's been put out there not being true about the numbers, his contract and whatnot, saying that his agent was interim for a couple of weeks and nobody had reached out to him. Agnelli hit back a bit today, basically saying that he loved hearing Dybala's words about the love he has for Juve, and it is reciprocated, and we see him as a future captain. Then he proceeded to say that Paulo Dybala has a proposal. So he has an offer, and it will make him one of the top 20 paid players in the world. We are waiting to hear his response. He is not among the top 5 players currently, and he knows this. He scored a goal, though, however, which is great, and he needs to continue to show us this on the pitch. That's essentially what Agnelli said. So this is getting interesting. All right. So Dybala basically saying that his agent hasn't heard anything for weeks. Agnelli saying that the ball's in Dybala's court and that he has an offer. So this is interesting. I know that Agresti has come out and said that basically the numbers are somewhere around 11, 12 million. So this is interesting. Basically, how I personally feel about it is Juve has given Dybala the number. It will not change. I feel Dybala doesn't like that number, and they're at a stalemate. And I think it's take it or leave it from Juventus. Okay, and I don't think Dybala likes it. This is a tough one. Dybala also did speak to the fact that he doesn't like what's being put out there about the financials, and he wish he could speak the truth about it, because he's saying he's being pitted as the bad guy and all of it, and it's turning the fans against him, which it has, and we've all seen. Everyone is throwing around 15 million, 15 million, 15 million in regards to Paulo Dybala. Listen, I love Paulo Dybala. Top 20, if there is an offer, okay, because I still have my doubts, because it seems very, very strange, okay? The only number I remember seeing in any type of rumor that was offered to Paulo Dybala was 8 million, okay? That's it. That is not top 20 money. So somewhere along the lines, if there's another offer and Paulo Dybala is not taking it, that's a little crazy. Because I think if he gets anything upwards of that, like 10 million, I think that's more than fair. He's got to take that, to be honest. But if it's the 8 million euro, that's not top 20 player money. Now, I know everybody's all over the map on whether he even deserves top 20 money, and that could be a stretch for Juve. There's a lot of, it really depends ultimately on what you grade a player on, and if any of the stuff off the pitch, about his locker room and how the guys love him and whatnot, and what he means to the club, how much he has invested himself in the club and how he loves the club. If you weigh anything on that, I think he's easily worth top 20 money. If you're doing it solely on performance, I know right now it's hard to see, but this is not the Dybala that we know. Okay, and even the ones that are against him right now, you cannot deny when Paulo Dybala is himself, he's amazing. Okay, now the thing is, he's also spoken in that interview after the Genoa match about how you need to approach the field with peace of mind. Okay, and a clarity. He admitted he hasn't. This is a contract thing. Okay, 100%. Now, I am 100%, okay, on the terms that it has to do with this contract. There's nothing else about it, okay? The COVID, all that, it might have affected him a bit at the start, but right now, this is contractual. And this going back and forth between Agnelli and Dybala, whatever side you're on, wherever you stand, wherever you see this is not a good thing for Juve. So whether Juve wants Dybala as part of it and they want him there, or whatever the case is, or they don't, they want to shop him out, they need to deal with this, and they need to deal with this fast. If there is a contract out there for Dybala, they still need to seal it up and say, look, this is it, take it or leave it. Unfortunately, we want you to be a part of the future, but this is the best we can do for you. And if he chooses to leave, then that's on him. But one way or another, this has to be settled, because it's not good for the team. Okay, it is, while it's beautiful, and I spoke to it on the podcast, to watch a team celebrate a Paulo Dybala goal like that and see him kind of break the slump there, it's not natural. It's not normal to celebrate a goal like that. There's so much extra weight around this scenario. It's unnecessary. And you have a project with young players, new team. It has to be settled. If, and again, I say if because I have my doubts, but if there is a contract offered to Paulo Dybala and it is in a range that puts him as a top 20 player, I think that's more than fair, and I think he needs to sign it. Basically, Paulo, you need to shit or get off the pot if there is a top 20 contract in front of you. If there isn't, I shift the blame to Juve, and you need to sort this out. You need to decide if you are going to give him that upgrade or you're not, and you need to make a move because it is unhealthy to have a player going through that is struggling. It's hurting the team, okay? And at the end of the day, it has to be about the team. We need to succeed. I personally think it's more than fair for both parties that Paulo gets paid as a top 20 player. I think that's fair, and I think if it is in fact there, he needs to take it. But I have my doubts, and I don't like this back and forth game now that's starting to take place in the media. This is not going to reflect one guy good, Agnelli good, or Dybala bad, or Dybala good, Agnelli bad. It's not going to reflect that. It's going to reflect bad on the club in general. They need to shut this down. This scenario needs to stop, and it needs to stop quick. Figure it out. They've been dragging their ass on this for far too long. Needs to be settled. I want to hear from you, Juventini. All right? Weigh in on the situation. What do you think? I want to hear from all of you. And tomorrow, stay tuned. I'm going to be coming live at 10:30 p.m. Pacific time as we get ready to preview the midweek match versus Atalanta. Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Buonasera, Bianconeri.